sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't miss our post-game show coming up tonight after the Grizzlies-Thunder Game 5. Let's get to the Golden State Warriors versus Spurs series because the intriguing thing for me is watching how Klay Thompson and Steph Curry have leveled off and not been shooting as well as they had in the first couple games. Obviously, this causes a big problem for the Warriors because this is what was winning them the games, how well these two guys shot. And right now, what's most concerning is that Steph Curry has a bad ankle. There ain't much that Mark Jackson can do about it because so much of what they was doing so well for them was predicated on his energy and explosiveness. Meanwhile, Popovich is no dummy, and he's going to attack Steph Curry in any way he can to gain the advantage. It's no surprise Klay Thompson has been struggling since he's had the Spurs' best defender in Kawhi Leonard on him. However, his first shot started out promising by curling around a screen, but look how difficult Kawhi made this shot with his effort. On this flex action on the weak side, even Danny Green grabs him a little bit, Tim Duncan steps up on the Landry down screen, and Leonard's long arms cause a lot of pressure on the shot. The Warriors want to run screen and roll with Curry and Klay, primarily to get Tony Parker to switch. They go right to the post, and Klay just isn't comfortable down there, having posted up only 34 times during the regular season. Out of horns, Klay Thompson gets more flex action on the weak side against Manu, who gives him a wide open 14-footer. A little sphincteritis on this shot, I guess. Kawhi Leonard bothered him so much that Klay began to rush his shots. Watch how his right foot doesn't come around all the way to square to the hoop. As a result, he's off balance even though this could have been an open look. All this pressure by Kawhi took away any rhythm Klay might have had, causing him to miss even open looks. Where Klay has done the best is not settling for the quick release, but curling aggressively towards the hoop first. Now, let's look at the rotating carousel of Spurs defenders Popovich threw at Steph Curry throughout Game 5. Playing on a bad ankle allowed Parker to play the majority of possessions on him since Curry clearly could not attack him like he did in Games 1 and 2. The Spurs have a luxury here since having a fresh defender on Curry has clearly worn him down. Curry starts out with a high pick and roll involving Duncan, who has done a bad job coming out high enough to pressure the shot. Curry's been knocking this kind of look down all series, but not tonight. Parker is clearly trying to force Curry down towards the baseline where there's help. Curry does a nice job drawing contact, but doesn't get the call. The Warriors like to screen the ball screener's man, but on this play, Barnes is in the way, and so is his man Danny Green. Also, you can see Curry has no lift jumping off his injured left foot. In contrast, you can see that Parker can't contain him by himself, and Curry can finish jumping off the right foot. Because of his bad wheel, he seemed reluctant to pull up for threes he was knocking down earlier in the series. Golden State's spacing is bad since they've got Barnes and Thompson too close to each other. When Manu helps one pass away like this, it should be a simple pass to Barnes for an open three. Instead, because there was virtually no contact on the original ball screen, Parker can get over there to bother the shot. Curry was clearly reluctant to shoot shots because he couldn't get much lift, and also wouldn't get closer to the hoop where it would require him jumping off his left foot. With Kawhi's long arms after him, he pulls up and misses the mid-range shot. It took 3 screens across the whole court to free Curry from Danny Green's hounding defense, but I detect the slightest hesitation when he plants the left foot and clearly doesn't get the same kind of lift here as he did earlier in the series. Curry did show us one example of him jumping off the left foot and finishing, but it was in a straight line without much contact. The difference on this three-pointer was the foot generating the power on his jump was the right foot, and he hits it. The Warriors tried to combat having the bigger Leonard on him by running him through horns and getting the same flex action on the weak side. Again, he gets daylight, but having to plant the left foot to jump is clearly a problem, and he looks afraid of landing on Kawhi's foot as well. Here's another example of what would normally be an easy layup for Curry, but because he has to jump off the left foot, he tries to pass in traffic and turns it over. Curry got so frustrated with everything that even on a positive play that results in 2 free throws for his team, you can see him visibly upset. For a young team relying on energy and irrational confidence, you can't have this. Taking advantage of the injury, Tony Parker will try to blow by Curry every opportunity he gets. And when he's guarding Danny Green, they'll force him through screens, knowing he just doesn't have the speed to get around in time. And they even pick on him on the weak side. On this closeout, Green knows he can blow by Curry to his left because it requires Curry to push off his left foot to move laterally, something he cannot do. With 8 assists, Curry was able to help his team in other ways. Here's a gorgeous behind-the-back flip to Barnes. Notice how Danny Green helps one pass away when Duncan goes for this great fake. And in transition, he throws this beautiful half-court lob to Bogut, and even though he's not moving well, they still have to honor the threat of his shot. It opens up the opportunity to thread the needle on this great pass to Landry for the dunk. So there you have it, sports fans. It just doesn't look like Steph Curry is going to come back 100% in this series. His ankle injury has been too severe, and the pass has already been too troublesome that it's really a problem, and it's too bad because they rely on that to overcome any other disadvantages they have against the Spurs. However, this is all gravy, because every extra minute they get in the playoffs right now will help them next year and the year after that, when they are going to be a championship club with a nucleus of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Harrison Barnes, a guy who I think is going to be an all-star. There are times out there he looks like an 8-year veteran in his prime and really settled and the only guy that wants to go out there and compete. So I've been very impressed with him. They have a very good club and a very bright future. So don't miss our post-game show tonight after the Grizzlies versus Thunder. Should be a great one. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?